efficient, driven, intelligent, successful. These are some of the words that come to mind when consumers think about Intel. These sentiments reflect a company driven to make profit, but not change. Before 2015, corporations can get away without being responsible. Now more than ever, corporate social responsibility is a necessity in our society. For the past few months, our country has experienced an especially difficult time period. Between the coronavirus pandemic and our seemingly never-ending fight against systemic racism, we have seen the worst sides of our society. That is why now, more than ever, it is necessary to fight hard for inclusion and equality. One area that suffers enormously due to the lack of diversity is the workplace. For example, in Intel's most recent diversity and inclusion report, only 20% of executives are women, and only 4.9% of US employees were African American. It is unacceptable to let this trend continue, a trend that is dominated by white and Asian majority. Today, we will outline the solution for you to help make Intel a more inclusive and safe space for all. We'd like to go more in depth in the issue. Next, we'll talk about our solution. From there, we'll speak about the financials associated with our company and the marketing necessary to implement your plan. But first, I'd like to take a moment and introduce myself and the group. Our names are Ethan Zarin,
Rena Thomas,
Ashley Higgins,
Trey Albani,
Sophia Happold,
and Victor Castleman. So what issue stands out? What problem needs addressing in Intel? Before we can tell you our plan for Intel going forward, we must address what may prove to be a trap if not addressed and handled properly in Intel for the coming years. This issue is diversity. If the numbers that Ethan listed weren't glaring enough, according to the 2019 annual Intel Diversity and Inclusion Report, in almost every department, men make up more than 70% of the company's workforce. Additionally, URM individuals, or underrepresented minority individuals, make up only 15% of the population at Intel as a whole. Though there have been some improvements since 2015, the company, whose goal is to shape the future of technology, needs to accelerate their progress in the diversification of their employees and executives. From the Global Diversity tab of Intel.com, currently, over 45% of Intel's employees are white or Caucasian, which would not be such a glaring issue. However, Intel hosts not one but two majority populations, thus shrinking the minority population even further. Asian employees make up another 40% of Intel's remaining employees. In low-income areas, the seed is not being planted. Students aren't given any exposure to technology of the future that Intel or any tech company creates, and therefore aren't even considering themselves to be qualified against future applicants who have had access and experience in all of the interfacing, hardware, and software. The president of Intel, Pia Wilson-Body, stated, "A zip code doesn't determine brilliance, but it does determine access. Without a decent background in the technology, applicants from these communities are scarce and inherently disadvantaged." So now that we know what the issue in the company is, how do we address it? How can Intel plant the seed that sprouts and balances the diversity within our company?
progressive, revolutionary, innovative, passionate. These are the words we want people to use when they think of the name Intel. As Intel looks to the future for fresh business and new customers, it is now a necessity to create a more inclusive working environment. On their website, Intel's purpose is to create world-changing technology that enriches the lives of every person on Earth. The only way that Intel can achieve this is with a diverse group of workers with revolutionary ideas. Our proposed solution for Intel are diversity and inclusion programs that would start as early as high school in order to spread the word about Intel and all it has to offer. In the 21st century recruiting process, a technology company needs to do better. Intel needs to do better. We propose that these previously in-person informational and recruitment events should be moved to Zoom. Additionally, in order to combat the current discrepancy between men and women within Intel, we will expand our recruiting efforts in order to branch out to reach all-girl universities and historically Black universities. This will allow for more students to hopefully apply for jobs and attend informational sessions about Intel. The other age group we wish to target is high school age students. These students are the future. So in addition to hosting either virtual or in-person seminars, we plan to host various competitions. These competitions will allow students to engage with the company and establish a relationship while hopefully inspiring them to pursue a career in this industry. We believe that this is the best route to take because this idea builds on Intel's current initiatives. It is clear from Intel's Diversity Progress Report that their initiatives are producing results because it cites an increase in employment of women and underrepresented minorities within the company. But by building on these initiatives, we can make a more significant change. By encouraging these students to consider careers within the company and this field, these opportunities will help students obtain their goal of deciding if Intel is right for them. We have weighed other solutions, but we think ours is the most comprehensive because we take a traditional approach and add several new elements to keep Intel at the forefront of this cultural revolution.
Staying relevant, it's every celebrity influencer's goal. In a technology-dependent world, Intel needs to do the same. Investopedia stock reporter Donna Falsado found that Instagram has more than 700 million active users. Instagram is popular with millennials, and the same data found that 39% of millennials are active daily users on Instagram. This data is clear. In order to reach the younger generation, we need to advertise on social media. My team and I propose that we go through Instagram and post advertisements within the platform, which will show up directly on users' Instagram feeds. Any Instagram user in the room is aware of these types of advertisements, but these pop-up ads generate buzz and create long-lasting positive effects for companies. As a technology company, Intel needs to capitalize on the social media market and jump on this opportunity to recruit millennials, and fast. In addition to our college programs, we will also market to high school students with diversity and inclusion programs. Once we're at these schools and speaking with these students, we need to make an impact. Naturally, we'll select a diverse group of charismatic workers at our company to speak passionately about what we do. But we want to be memorable. These young adults can't just forget about us when the next great speaker comes along. In order to truly stick in the minds of these impressionable teens, we will additionally hand out stickers with our company logo. Think this sounds silly? Reddit was founded by two college friends who promoted their new website by handing out $500 worth of stickers in 2005. Today, Reddit is the #5 most viewed site in the United States with 430 million active users. According to Business Insider, Reddit was valued at over $1.8 billion in 2017. The stickers worked wonders for them, and they can do similar for us. These stickers will continue to remind students of Intel long after our presentation has concluded, leaving an impression which lasts well after our presentation is over.
Many companies such as Intel have big plans and goals for being socially responsible, but most never get accomplished. How is our plan different from these unachieved goals? We not only have ideas for the solution, but we also have a process of implementing them to make these goals a reality. According to the Harvard Business Review, most corporate social responsibility programs are lacking the active engagement by the firm's CEO and are frequently run in an uncoordinated way using internal managers. This often leads to a company not meeting their CSR goals and proves how crucial implementation is to the process. We plan to implement a high school program for students to get involved with Intel at an early age and to open up opportunities for them in the technology industry. According to the United States Census Bureau, in the past 10 years, not only has the population of high school students gotten more diverse, but the minority students are graduating from high school and continuing on to college. This more diverse population of high school students can now be exposed to Intel at a young age and possibly create long-lasting relationships at Intel, which could lead to a job in their future. With these programs, we will also target low-income areas where public schools cannot provide as many opportunities as private schools. According to the Public Social Review, private schools are statistically less diverse than most public schools, and the private school sector as a whole has lower proportions of Black and Hispanic students than the public school sector. By targeting low-income public schools, Intel will be exposed to a more diverse demographic of future employees. What is an example of one of these programs? My team and I propose that Intel hosts a competition for current high school students in diverse and low-income areas in order to further generate buzz about our company. Students at low-income public schools from all over the country will be eligible to participate in a competition to win laptops for their entire school. Students will create a video which talks about a socially innovative cause that they or their school is passionate about. A team of Intel employees will then go through the videos and select a winner. The winning school will receive enough laptops for the entire school. These programs will plant the seed for recruitment within the young minds of adults and foster a positive connotation surrounding Intel's brand. Additionally, our programs provide public relation opportunities for Intel while satisfying the goal of showing that Intel is making strides to create equal opportunities and equality for all within the workplace.
With our plan and strategy set, what is left is reviewing the financial situation of Intel, as well as setting up the cost structure of the solution which we provided. After looking at Intel's financials, it is clear there has been a diminution in Intel's value as well as market share. According to Yahoo.Finance, as of the most recent closing of the market, Intel's cost per share is $49.28. This is a staggering difference to their all-time high of $73.88. Also, as claimed by Statista.com, Intel holds 64.9% in the CPU market. This has fallen from 82.5% market share they had in 2016. What's unusual is that when you briefly glance at Intel, these data points give the impression that Intel has been withering away for the last 5 to 10 years. But in fact, Intel has been increasing gross profits steadily for the last 10 years, increased their revenue of almost $20 million, as well been trying to infiltrate other computer markets. What this tells us is that there's still a lot of opportunity when it comes to Intel, and a change such as the solution we discussed above could help bring more investors and consumers to the table. When it comes to the solution, there will be various expenses in order to make it as effective as possible. The college program will cost approximately $1,200 due to a Zoom subscription and miscellaneous expenses. The high school programs are going to be more costly. The total cost will be approximately $89,000 due to another Zoom subscription and purchasing of laptops and miscellaneous expenses. The last expense that are necessary to the program are the advertising. The total cost of the advertisements will be $4,000 due to the Instagram advertisements and the purchasing of stickers. These advertisements will help Intel reach upwards to 1.6 million people. Now leads the question of how much money can Intel earn from the implementation of these programs. This is very hard to say, but the goal is that possible consumers and investors will see the effort and resource Intel is putting into these lower income and diverse communities, and in turn will want to buy into the company.
In the past 15 years, CSR reporting by firms has gone up 64% and is still rising. The Harvard Business Review reports that last year alone, the Fortune Global 500 firms spent around $20 billion on CSR programs. This is a step in the right direction, but we still have much to accomplish and change about the corporate world. We want Intel to be accountable for its lack of diversity and provide opportunities for those that are misrepresented in the workforce. Investing in diversity is investing in Intel's future. In today's world, corporations are often seen as the problem, but we believe companies like Intel can be a part of the solution. Thank you.